Oh, the sexists, the feminists, they're gonna be so outraged. And guess what? I don't really care.
Where is Helen? Bring her to me! Achilles! I'm here! Shit.
Elliot Page as Sinan is the greatest soldier I've ever known. It was called that in the movie. That's like a line in the movie.
Yeah.
You know, Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, he seems like a nice guy, but then he opens his mouth and then shit like this comes out.
And if you don't force behaviors, whether it's
And
gender
on today's video,
or race,
folks, well, you guessed it, the Odyssey is already having preview screenings across the USA. And I'm going to give you a reaction to two prominent YouTubers, one good, one bad. You make up your mind which one you prefer, folks, but I think I've already made up my mind. And without further ado, let's get into today's video.
What took y'all so damn long? Do you understand how long I've been waiting in this city? Don't you know I'm the most beautiful damn woman in the whole damn world? 10 years of war, and not one of y'all thought to check inside.
Yes, hallelujah, it's the video show. And now, the man the BBC calls...
Jason King on Kung Fu Hot Dog.
Never surrender!
Just mimicking Alan Ing's phony reaction for their out of theatre reaction for the Odyssey, along with Chris Gore, his co-host on the show. But this is Christian Harloff. If you don't know who this guy is, he's got a very unusual quirk where he only shaves one side of his facial hair, so he's got half a moustache. If you look closely, it's a bit weird. But this was his out of theatre reaction 8 hours ago after seeing the Odyssey. And look at the up votes and the down votes. People are not impressed. In fact, if I refresh that, I wonder if that's actually going to change. We'll see. Wow, my internet is really up the wazoo today. Let's have a look. Yeah, look at that. 5,000 upvotes and 2,800 downvotes. It's pretty unhealthy, but let's go.
What's going on, everybody? This is an
what's going on?
reaction for Christopher Nolan's latest, The Odyssey.
The Odyssey,
This is
like
just
Christopher
my
Walken.
out of the theater reaction. The social embargo is lifted, but the review embargo doesn't lift for a couple of days. So I'm just going to give my thoughts as I'm walking out of here.
It's
so make
lifted
sure
just
if you're
like
brand new to the channel
Eva
and everything
Herzegovich's
before, make sure you
bosoms.
subscribe. Trying to get to 300,000 by the end of the year. You hit that button, I think
Come on,
we
get
can
on the
do it.
review, dude.
All right, so I don't use this too often, this word. Awesome. Masterpiece. It is exactly what they say it's going to be, this adventure, and it's just what Christopher Nolan does with the masterful performance of Matt Damon as Odysseus. I mean, the performances in general, whether it's Matt Damon, Anne Hathaway, Tom Holland, Zendaya, Charlize Theron. I mean, the list goes on and on.
What, not Samantha Morton or Lupita Nyong'o, or it's really strange he doesn't mention the other, or even Elliot Page. Why even not mention her name? Come on.
Pattinson, great as the villain here, but it's a long movie and it deserves to be every second. And what Nolan does really well in this movie, besides everything, is the fact that they are going to make this, the fantastical stuff of the things that are going to happen and the creatures that are in there. It all feels real, and the CGI doesn't feel like those big kind of over-the-top CGI. Oh, there's a CGI monster. It feels almost like Del Toro-esque at some points, but it feels like so real. And I was just locked in from start to finish. They set things up. The way he storytells, the way he always storytells is interesting in all of his movies, the story devices that he does. But this in particular, in the way that he does it, and he cuts back and forth to certain things and going into the...
Yeah, listen, Christian Harloff back in the AMC days before he moved on to Collider, you can tell that the stink of John Campea probably rubbed off on him just a little bit, maybe a bit of rubbing off in the process, if you know what I mean too. Let's carry on.
If you know the Odyssey, you know the Iliad, you know the things that happen here, it really ties in very well, and it is just Masterful, masterful storytelling for what Nolan does. The music is fantastic, but what I was wondering the way that they were gonna do it is how was it going to go from the beginning to middle to get you invested in everything that Odysseus is going through, mentally, everything else, and how does it deliver at the end? Because that to me, it's gonna be, if this is a payoff that works, then the movie is going to succeed, and then it works times 1,000. And even in the movie itself, Odysseus is like an old school Born, if you will. There's so much. And the action, the way that the violence plays, that it doesn't have to be over the top gory. There's some creepy, dark stuff in this movie too. And again, it's not just gratuitous. It all makes sense for what is happening inside of the film. So this is a great movie, one of my favorites of the year. If not my favorite, I probably have to see
Favorites
this one again.
of the year?
I want to see this one again.
Again, why is Christian declaring that the Odyssey by Christopher Nolan is his favorite of the year when Spider-Man Brand New Day hasn't been released yet? And when that comes out, what is that going to be now his best film of the year? Come on, man.
I use the word epic. I use the word masterpiece. I use the word biblical.
Yeah.
And I don't. If you watch my channel, you know that I don't just use those words loosely. This movie.
Again, Christian, you're the same guy who harped on about Star Wars. You weren't invited to a Star Wars event. You got really butthurt about that. It's this really infamous breakdown that he had. And honestly, I mean, the guy needs to keep his access. I like Christian. I actually don't mind him. Again, some of the people he has on his daily live stream show, I'm thinking, no. I know why they're there. They're plants. They're there to support you, to make you look good. But if you're on your own, if you're a one-man show like I am, then it's a totally different picture altogether.
Floored me. Was in awe. Sat there for a second when the credits rolled and said, wow, love this movie.
Oh, the credits that roll with the Travis Scott rap song at the end in the epic Greek fantasy. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Highly recommended. Definitely see it in IMAX. The whole entire thing is in IMAX. So that's my initial thoughts as I walked out of the theater for the Odyssey. So make sure you click like, comment, subscribe. Do you want to see the Odyssey? Are you going to check it out?
No, I don't, but thanks for asking.
As always, see you on the flip side. Reviews coming out real soon.
Okay, well, thanks, Chris. I'm glad we had that. And now, just to show a bit of fairness here, folks, because we've had one glowing review for the Odyssey, let's just get a mixed bag from these two not so mixed bagged gentlemen, Chris Gore and Mr. Thorny Warney, Alan Ing. This should be a lot of fun. And by the way, 8 hours ago, Christian Harloff got 76,000 views, and 4 hours ago, this is Alan Ing now, and his partner's in a non-bum boy way, if you know what I mean. 104,000 views in 5 hours, which is incredible. So go for it, guys. Let's just get the subtitles on because we definitely want to catch the subs on this.
Oh my God.
The Odyssey, our social media reaction.
Christopher Nolan.
What do you think?
I was bored out of my mind. I was checked out on this movie pretty much from the beginning. The sound was awful. I couldn't understand dialogue. And then I started to understand dialogue and realize how bad the dialogue is.
No, it's the Dark Knight Rises all over again.
And we give it back to you.
By the way, look at the background. Where are they standing? What's not there? See, these two guys have got it tuned in, man.
This is the most pretentious movie I've seen all year.
Ouch.
And I can't wait to not see this movie again.
The thing that didn't work for me.
That should be the tagline.
Was the accents, the way they spoke, I felt diminished the film. It felt too modern, and in a way, it kind of felt like El Topo. Alejandro Jodorowsky's El Topo was like a modern Western, and this felt like a modern epic.
Greek fantasy. Okay.
Just look, there are parts that drag, especially the first half, but then there are also moments, in particular with the Cyclops, I thought were great. The fall of Troy, I thought.
The Witch.
The Witch with played by Samantha Ward. She was very good, and the way they the soldiers transform. I'm not gonna.
Alan's not agreeing.
I thought that was very clever, but for the most part, I'm still marinating on it. It's not a disaster, but I'll say the controversial castings.
Not a big deal.
It's not that big a deal because of screen time.
Right. They might as well be cameos.
They're really
Yeah,
not
so
in the
basically
movie all that much.
Zendaya and
Although,
Lupita Nyong'o get big checks for about 5 or 6 minutes of screen time. Yeah, that makes sense.
Elliot Page as Sinan is the greatest
Cinnamon.
soldier I've ever known. It was called that in the movie. That's like a line in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's you know, it's one of those things where you see a Nolan film the first time, you're like, why do you do this and that? And then
Yeah.
the second time you see it, maybe it bothers you less.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna happen.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm seeing it the second time on Thursday.
Here's my big thing. That was Matt Damon on screen. That was Anne Hathaway on screen. That was Tom Holland on screen. There was no characterization, no effort to say, I'm playing this character. I'm seeing Matt Damon, Anne Hathaway, and everyone.
Hat boy.
And, it just doesn't feel part of the period.
I don't like that the colors were muted. It felt very muted. It should have been grand and colorful, and it wasn't.
Yeah, because again, I've been watching a lot of his history videos recently where you got the Mycenaean period of Greek history where all the soldiers wore some amazing red and gold armor-plated outfits, and like you don't get that here in this film. Like, why was that an artistic choice? It's again very, very strange.
And I thought the music, it's not the best for a Nolan film. Usually the score carries the movie a lot. This one didn't.
A lot of drumming.
Drumming,
The
what,
Travis
bass and
Scott
drum.
Song over credits.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see it at the Academy Awards this year.
You won't. I will say, this movie will probably win a lot of technical Oscars, and it is guaranteed to win an Oscar for casting. And there's a reason for that.
Of course.
There's a lot I want to say that I can't. This is initial reaction, and my reaction is not a disaster, but mixed. And for Alan,
Disaster, not mixed.
not a disaster, mixed. Okay, we'll talk more later this week.
And the thing with Alan Ng, right, people always have this idea that he's got a preconceived or premeditated opinion already before a film is released. And the thing is, look, we've all seen the early concepts about and heard the rumblings about the Odyssey, who's in it, who are they playing, and when those fears and realizations come true, you can't blame Alan for having a preconceived notion, even though he went in and still, although he tried to like the movie, he couldn't stand it. I mean, me and Alan are on the same page, except we're different types of agents, if you know what I mean. Now, Chris basically said, you know why they cast certain people in a certain light? Well, Comcast, NBC Universal, the subsidiary, full ownership. And by the way, look at the LGBT colorings right there. I mean, what is that all about? That's just not the Universal pictures I remember back in the day. There's the key facts, the revenue they've made, and so on and so forth. Who owns Universal Studios? So you've got Comcast, I mentioned there, and you've got General Electric in 2011. But the more pressing and important details, folks, is this right here. The Vanguard Group, 9.7, the biggest stake shareholder in Universal. Who's below them? BlackRock. Okay, both of these companies are known for pushing diversity, DEI bollocks all over the place. And it probably explains why Christopher Nolan has been hoodwinked. And, well, Hoodwinked, by the way, is a very funny Anne Hathaway movie. And so that probably explains why he and his wife, who probably coerced and cucked him into making this version of Homer's The Odyssey. And now from the representation and inclusion section of the Academy of Bowel Movements and Picture Fart representatives, you know, the white folk who might have a couple of black people in there as well, now to be considered for Oscar eligibility in the Best Picture category, these are designed, these bullet points that are very, very condescending, by the way, are there to encourage people from all walks of life, yes, including invaders from other countries who set up tent illegally in the USA or Great Britain. You too could win an Oscar for all of your troubles. Now, they have to break down what ethnic and racial stereotypes that they want to be included in their final nominations list. It's really hilarious. So African American, a term I abhorrently hate beyond belief. And not just that, but Black, African, or Caribbean descent. Wow, you got to fit all of that in there. My East Asian brothers and sisters from Japan, China, and Korea, even Mongolian apparently, you have to include them now.
When Lenny Henry was mildly amusing, now demands black people should get compensation.
Hispanic or Latina, EO or X, are you effing kidding me? No one calls Latino Latinx or Latonx or shut up, give me a break. Indigenous people, including Native Americans and Alaskans, Middle Eastern, North African, Pacific Islanders, well I guess that rules out Dwayne the Rocky Docky Johnson, South Asian, including Bangladeshi, Bhutanese, Nepalese, Indian, Sri Lankan. What about people from Guyana? You're not going to include those? That's my parents' home country. Southeast Asian, including Burmese, Cambodian, Filipino, Hmong, Indonesian, Laotian, as in on the bottom of the ocean, cake by the ocean, Malaysian, Mien, Singaporean, Thai, and Vietnamese. And they got the, oh my, look at this gets so much worse. General ensemble cast, women, racial ethnic groups, LGBT, that's where, of course, Ellen Page comes in.
I would love for it to be after I'm dead.
People with cognitive or physical disabilities who are deaf or hard of hearing. Oh my God, no wonder Christopher Nolan has made sure every checkbox is ticked for the Odyssey, along with his insufferable wife, Emma Thomas. Oh look folks, it's the Channel 4 foreskin forecast of the Odyssey. Oh, I can hardly wait. And let's just have a quick, this, by the way, this is absolutely awful. It's been savaged already. And yeah, look, even the downvotes. Oh, yikes. If people are just hating on this.
Language as well is very modern. You
let's get the closed captions.
say dad rather than father.
Because I wouldn't have even said father back in the day, would I? I would have been Greek.
So tell me, this young Tom Holland who's 30 but still plays a kid on the big screen, if that is a problem that they should have used father back in the day in Greek times, then how come in the French/Japanese animated cartoon of 1981 called Ulysses 31 does Telemachus refer to his dad as father?
Father! Oh, father!
You are alive, my son.
How come they had the idea, the notion to sit down and write that story to make sure you include realistic language that might have been spoken in the time? And of course, Nolan, doing his little love heart thing there, is instantly agreeing with Tom. Yeah, we don't need that ancient language. We're going to use our own modern day language.
Cultural prejudice. There's a lot of elevating it because it's old, whatever it is. I just want to make it feel very fresh for modern audience.
For a modern gaming audience.
There's that horrible phrase again, folks. Honestly, what's happened to Christopher Nolan? Oh my God, this used to be my boy back in the day. He's just... What's happened to you, Chris? It's Universal. I think Warner Brothers are just as bad as Universal. Probably not as bad, but oh my God, this is just absolutely terrible beyond belief. But something that isn't, and by this needs further inspection, Your Honor, Anne Hathaway at 22 years of age. Now she's a busty 43-year-old expecting a child. And I gotta say, do you know what? I really need to bring my camera up without leering too much, if you get my drift, because there are 4 good reasons why I need to talk about Miss Anne Hathaway, the best free publicity milking machine there's been for the Odyssey. Why didn't Penelope look like this in the film? She's meant to be radiant and beautiful, but instead she looks like an old, worn-torn hag in that film, nagging Odysseus as played by Matt Damon to death. And here she looks absolutely resplendent. When you see her on the, especially at the French premiere for the Odyssey, when you see her walking around, she just looks like a protective mother who wants to have intercourse with every man and woman that is around her. She just has that fiery energy, which is absolutely insane, and I truly appreciate it. People don't talk about that, but I can clearly see, like, from a biological point of view, that woman is a huntress, man. She is just out to devour everybody that she can. She's hungry, she's feeling it, and God, so am I, man. But honestly, I'll have 4 good reasons later on why I'll need to take a very big cold shower. But man, I forgot how smoking hot Anne Hathaway was at 22. But yeah, best publicity milking machine for the Odyssey. She wins hands down. Like, people don't talk about it, but they should talk about it. I do. I mean, the fact that I've got Anne Hathaway in 2 thumbnails of mine already, and she's just probably turning out to be a really good luck charm with some good luck charms of her own. And on that one, ladies and gentlemen, well, what can I say? And if I were you, and if you were me, I will catch you catching me for the return of the next video.
I don't have all day. Shit, you move like a girl.